Morocco are the first African country to win three African Nations Championship titles. Congratulations to the Atlas Lions. We're going to break down the final of the 2024 Chan, where Morocco beat Madagascar 3-2, coming up next on the African Five-Side podcast. Hello and welcome to the African Five-Side podcast. I'm your host, Maher Mezahi. As always, this is brought to you by africasaCountry.com. Today, throughout the month of August, we've been on a publishing break. So if you've been visiting the website and you haven't seen any new articles, that's the reason why. But we're now at the end of August, and we're all going to restart uh, publishing articles at a pretty good rate, and these videos are going to continue to increase. And I've been saying that for 2 weeks now, but this really will be the case now, as after this weekend we have the international break. So much to look forward to. Please like and subscribe and comment if you're so inclined. But yeah, today we're here to talk about Morocco defeating Madagascar 3-2 in the 2024 African Nations Championship. This really, for me, puts a cherry on top of the Moroccan domination in this competition since 2018. Remember, they won this tournament in 2018. They won this tournament in 2020. In 2022, Algeria was hosting the tournament, and then there were the political problems between Morocco and Algeria, where, if you remember correctly, these two countries, they broke off diplomatic relations. Algeria broke off diplomatic relations in 2021, and Algeria also shut its airspace for direct flights coming from Morocco. Therefore, the Moroccan national team, to participate in the 2022 Chan, would have had to go fly to either Southern Europe and then into Algeria, or to Tunisia and then to Algeria, which they refused to do. They believed they were legally, they had the right to fly directly into Algeria. The Algerian government didn't give in, and as a result, they didn't participate in that tournament. But they weren't eliminated. They didn't lose. It was just obviously due to political circumstances that they didn't participate in that 2022 tournament. Fast forward to 2024, of course, taking place in 2025, Morocco is back. And when they lost to Kenya earlier in this tournament in the group stages, that was the first time they had lost, because they hadn't lost in 2018 and 2020. So it was the first time they had lost in 7 years in this tournament, right? And you'd think, okay, maybe things have changed a little bit. Remember, prior to this tournament, Morocco were thinking of coming here with a squad entirely composed of under 25 players, and then they didn't have great results in pre-tournament friendlies. And as a result, they decided to change their mind and bring in more senior players. So when you think about the pre-tournament factors, the fact that the squad was sort of cobbled together at the last minute, when you think about that 1-0 loss to Kenya, which was a very, very spirited victory for the hosts, the Harambee Stars, I thought maybe things have changed a little bit. But slowly but surely, as the matches continued to roll on and on and on, Morocco continued to win matches, and it's ultimately come to this, where they won. They beat Madagascar 3-2, a match that I think they were favored in, that everybody thought they would win. Let's take anything away from Madagascar, not to say that they couldn't have won this match, but I think Morocco were definite favorites in this match, and they lived up to that status, disposing of Madagascar, I would say, not very comfortably, but they were the clear better team on the day. Now, let's just take a moment before we break down the live action to again situate what this tells us about the African Nations Championship, what this tells us about Morocco. In one of the various African football WhatsApp groups that I'm in, somebody said, what does this say about the Moroccan league now? Almost as if hinting to say, are we underestimating the Moroccan league? Is this not maybe the best league in Africa, or one of the best leagues in Africa? And I would pump the brakes on that a little bit, because first of all, as I mentioned in the preview video for this tournament, not every single nation treats this competition the same. Not everyone takes it extremely seriously. And I'm not saying that Morocco are taking this tournament extremely seriously, because again, I thought there were players like Mounir El Khajwi, for example, the goalkeeper for Berkane. There were various players like maybe Zamarawi from Wydad Casablanca. There were good players that could have been included in the squad. That Tarek Skiti we didn't decide to use. Maybe he decided to leave them at home for rest, but it's not like they were bringing the best 23 players to East Africa, right? So I don't want to criticize them from that perspective. I'm not saying that. I don't think Algeria picked its best 23 as well, partly because of incompetence, but partly because I also think they wanted to leave some of the players at this position of their clubs. But if Egypt and South Africa, I say all this to say, if Egypt and South Africa took this tournament seriously and sent their best 23 players over, they would undoubtedly win this tournament, in my opinion. They would show a level of domination that Morocco have sort of shown over the last three editions of this tournament. Just think about the Al Ahly team. Think about some of the Egyptian players that could play in a Chan. If Egypt were to take this tournament seriously, we're talking about Imam Ashur, we're talking about Trezeguet, we're talking about, all kinds of talented players that play at Pyramids and Ahli and Zamalek. Same thing with South Africa. If they didn't send a bunch of unattached players and decided to send, Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates A teams, with Mofokeng, with Zwane, with Maswangani, with all these players, I mean, they, they would undoubtedly, win this tournament as well. So I think we shouldn't jump to conclusions and say, well, look, Morocco have dominated this tournament recently, therefore this league is the best league in Africa. No, I don't even think it's on the level of Egypt and South Africa. I would definitely put it underneath. Um, that said, I think we can quite clearly say that there's a good amount of quality in this league. One of the best in Africa, not top two or maybe probably not even top three, but very good players in this league. And I think that's reflected in the CAF Champions League as well. Recently, their teams haven't done incredibly well in the CAF Champions League. But more importantly, I think what this tells us about Morocco is that the federation is incredibly well organized. And we all know that. They do the best job, I think, out of any federation in Africa, making sure they put the qualified people in the right positions. Tariq Skitiwi, the Moroccan coach, did an incredible job in this tournament. Not just selecting the players, not just making sure that they played the attractive football that they played, not just managing things from a human perspective as well. Managing emotions and being a man manager. He was incredible, like throughout the entire tournament, and not every single federation had the best coach, coaching their players. Think about Kenya did with Benny McCarthy, right? And I think several of them, had the A national team as coaches coaching their teams, which is fine. But others, no. Like Senegal, took a shot with Souleymane Diallo. I'm not saying he's a horrible coach, but it probably would have had a better result with Pape Thiaw there. Um, so Morocco, I think, got the coaching hire very right. Not only has he had success, with the youth level, what he did at the Olympics was incredible, leading Morocco to a bronze medal finish. And some of the discourse in Morocco, this might be a little bit unfair, but some of the discourse in Morocco is like, you know what, this coach Tariq Skitiwi, as they said, might be a little bit better than Walid Regragui. Now, again, I think that's extremely unfair, particularly when you take into context what Regragui did at the 2022 World Cup. But what this Chen result does for him and what he's proved with the Olympics last year and everything is that he might be next in line for the job. If, heaven forbid if you're Moroccan, but if Morocco fail at the AFCON, let's say they fail miserably, let's say they don't get to the semifinals, for example, I don't think there's any question that Walid Regragui stays on for the job. For me, there's no better replacement than Tariq Skitiwi. I mean, same thing as Walid Regragui. Young, former international, speaks the language, relates to the European-based players, relates to the local players as well, knows the domestic league, obviously, now, knows the young players. I think he's just like a perfect ready-made replacement. You don't have to go and bring in the biggest names, as they do, for example, the women's senior national team. And in that case, I do think it's money well invested. But here, I think Skitiwi would be, again, a perfect ready-made replacement, particularly if you want to make a quick change before the World Cup. So we're going very, very far, and we haven't even broke down the match action yet. These are the things that I'm thinking about as we're watching this match. So, yeah, but Moroccan Federation, what they do is they did an incredible job of making sure they brought the right coach in. And think about his team selection. One of the reasons why I think they looked like such a coherent unit, they were playing, for example, a midfield three that were all AS FAR Rabat. Now, not throughout the entire tournament, but for like half of this tournament, they had Mohamed Rabih Harimat alongside Anis Bash, alongside Itwar Khan. Three AS FAR players playing in the midfield three. They would play Mihri Riyahi and Oussama Lamliwi, three players from RS Berkane on the front line. Right now, again, not throughout the entire tournament. He did rotate a lot. Today he dropped out. Baba came in on the left wing, but Mehdi and Lemlui still had that link up. The fullbacks were both from Rajab, and at one point a center half as well. So you see like the team chemistry bringing on like positional units from just one club, because they know how to play together, putting them on the pitch. I thought that was very, very intelligent. That's not something that many other coaches did, for example. For I'll just give a quick example. MC of Algiers, I think have an incredible defensive unit and midfield unit. It would have been great to see Algeria, you know, use like Ben Khamassa, Bourras, and Darawi in midfield as the midfield three. Or if you just want to do defensive unit, do Ghazala, Abdellawi, Hleimia, for example. And even Khalif if you can. So I think that was like, again, a genius move from Tariq Skitili, and credit to him. Now, going into this match, let's talk about the match now. You know, I think Morocco had more expectation, and I think Madagascar, it's not that they were just happy to be there, but like if you take the declarations of the coaches pre-match, Roro, as the Malagasy coach is called, Romuald Rakoton Drabe, says, it's a dream come true. Life is a bit complicated in Madagascar. Our qualification has created popular joy. I dedicate this journey to all the people. From the beginning, we were drawn in a difficult group. I never thought we would reach the final. Even in our heads, we didn't think we would do better than 2 years ago. So you see, the l'état d'esprit, they would say in French. Like the state of the mindset. Whereas Kitiri was saying things like, we're going into this match without any arrogance. That's our strength. We know it's going to be a battle, but a victory is something you have to fight for, it won't be given to you. And so you see, like, again, Morocco's going into this thing where it's like, all right, we can't be complacent, and Madagascar is going into this like, this is historic. We have a chance to make history. And usually, you much prefer the Moroccan mindset than the Malagasy one going into a match. So the match starts. Oussama Lemliwi, right from the second minute, looks like a little bit of a menace, right? He comes into this match with 4 goals in the tournament, leading goal scorer. And he was always, I think, going to finish with the golden boot. But it would have been nice. We wanted to see him score, and obviously he adds a brace as they win 3-2. But even in the second minute, he was threatening. He was playing off of the last man, really. And in the second minute, he gets behind the defense, shoots wide to the near post. I think he's offside, but it was just a good early duel between himself and Toldo, who have been 2 players of the tournament so far. By the 10th minute, I put that Morocco are camped in the Madagascar end, and they are completely dominating the field position match. And in the 10th minute, really, that's the first time that Madagascar get out. So, like, for the first 10 minutes, Morocco are holding onto the ball, and not only are they holding onto the ball, they have it deep in the Madagascar end. And the first time out of the end, you have a goal from Madagascar. Lelena, number 8, one of the players of the tournament as well in midfield, gets the ball to Gregas, who gets the ball to number 7, Feli, who's only playing because the habitual striker, I believe, is suspended for this match. And Feli, I think he sort of miscontrols the ball and bounces up, and the miscontrolled ball sort of bounces up perfectly for a volley, and he takes it on the volley, and it was one of the goals of the tournament, if not the goal of the tournament. Beautifully executed volley from Feli over Al-Harar, and you think to yourself, if you're Morocco, you think to yourself, man, that's harsh. Like, we've been dominating this match, and in the 10th minute, Madagascar score. And immediately, what I liked about the Madagascar coach, Roro, is saying, like, calm down. He's telling everybody, calm down, calm down, calm down. By the 20th minute, though, I've written that Morocco have resumed domination. When Madagascar get on the ball, I really like their combination play. It was very nifty, especially in midfield. But they weren't really threatening the Moroccan goal, whereas Morocco were threatening the Madagascar goal. Like in the 20th minute, as I mentioned, Boulaksut, the right back, who I thought was incredible throughout the entire match, one of the top 3 performers in this match as a right back. He took a shot from 20 yards out, really from the corner of the box, and it really just skimmed the top of the crossbar. In the 27th minute, Morocco equalized. Mohamed Rabia Harimat, who has been, Tariq Skitiwi, the Moroccan coach, has said that this guy is like, an assistant coach on the field. He's 30, I think, 1 years old. He's the captain of the squad. I thought he was older than 31. The commentator said he was 31, but I thought he was like 34. Let me check how old he is. Yeah, he's just 31, actually. I thought he was older than that, man. That's not that old. But anyways, quick thinking on a set piece, releases Baba puts in a good cross, and Mehdi, Yusuf Mehdi, the player with the most assists in this tournament, as the commentator said, scores a headed goal. And these Berkan forwards, whether it was Riyahi or Mehdi or the others as well, they're very good in the air, and Mehdi proved it, and I think he's been a top performer during this tournament as well. I think the Kenyan crowd came alive. It was interesting to see that the Kenyans were supporting Morocco. They're ole, ole, ole in the 30th minute. With the scored, Morocco continued to ramp up the pressure. And just looks like when we're sort of cruising into halftime, because Morocco were increasing pressure, they weren't creating too many great chances. Madagascar were defending well. Just when it seemed like we were going into halftime at 1-1, Morocco score. And it's Harimet again at the heart of it. He Look at his positioning. He breaks the line by placing himself between the midfield line and the defending line. A beautiful ball gets played through. I don't know by who. I want to say Anis Bash, but I'm not sure. And just 1-2 touches, releases the ball out wide to Mehri, who this time gets an assist instead of a goal. He crosses the ball to Lemliwi. Lemliwi breaks off of the last defender, controls the ball, and finishes. A real striker's goal, and a very important time to score, of course, just 2 minutes before halftime. In the second half, it was, I think, pretty much the story of the first half. Morocco controlling, Morocco threatening more than Madagascar, Madagascar getting a goal, but Morocco also getting one as well. Because in the 60th minute, Madagascar equalized, but I think it was against the run-up play. It really was. And it's one of those goals that's almost indefensible, because it's a ball that comes in from, it's a lofted sort of lob from the right back position into the striker position. The striker is off of the center halves, and if the center halves, it's one of those that you can't defend it. It's indefensible. If the center halves stick to the striker, they're going to be out of position. They're going to be leaving space in behind. So you just got to, but he's also too deep for a defensive midfielder to front him, so it's one of those, and it's a perfect flick on, and it's a perfect control, and and just if it's a millisecond later, Bulik Soud probably blocks the ball, but it's just you can't do anything about that sometimes, It's just the right position, the right flick on, the right shot, and it was milliseconds. And it's Tony Niena who gets the goal. And then the crowning moment of the tournament. I mean, the perfect way to finish off this tournament in the 80th minute. Sam Mliwi, seemingly out of nothing, right? Just holding off. I want to say it's Lalena, but I'm not sure. It might be Dax. Might have been another of the midfielders. And churns, I think he chests the ball, or it bounces. Maybe he didn't touch it at all, but it bounces. I think it might be a goal kick or just a long ball. Nothing going on. He's the only person maybe in the Madagascar half. And the ball comes in, bounces, and without even looking up, I watched the replay, without even looking up, he hits a beautiful volley from 40 yards out over Toldo. Didn't even look up. What a goal. And it reminded me of the goal that Youssef Belali actually scored against Morocco in the 2021 FIFA Arab Cup in Qatar. But yeah, an incredible goal. That puts him at 6 goals in this tournament. And what a story. At 29 years old, just a late bloomer in Moroccan football. He was at, a club named Mohammedia before Berkane. He was scoring, 6 to 10 goals per year in the Moroccan Botola. He's just one of those good strikers in the Moroccan Botola, but never really considered one of the best, Moroccan strikers. And now, with the way he's performed in 2025, since January, I mean, it's because of him that Berkane, it's not only because of him. Obviously, we talked about Mehdi. Berkane is good all over the place, right? But he's been so hot in the Confederation Cup. I think he's just 6, 7 goals in the Confederation Cup. I want to say maybe 16, 17 goals in the Botola. He scored in the Throne Cup. He scored in every single competition. And this tournament, he wasn't even the starter for the first couple of matches. Remember, Ayoub Moulou'a was, as they were sort of testing younger options. And he comes on as Ayoub Moulou'a gets injured, and he finishes the tournament with 6 goals. Absolutely incredible. He's one of those strikers that can do everything. His link-up play is good. He can win balls in the air. He can strike the ball from a distance, as we saw with that goal. But again, one of his main strengths for me is the way he attacks crosses, particularly low crosses, running across the face of goal, knowing when to anticipate to make the run, knowing how to, use finesse to make sure he flicks the ball on goal in a dangerous manner every single time. So I've been saying for 6 months now that this guy he might earn his place as Morocco's starting number 9 at the African Cup of Nations this winter. And he's done absolutely nothing to hurt that opportunity at all. On the contrary, he's looked very, very good. Now, other Moroccan strikers have looked good too. Today, Hamza Igaman at Lille put an incredible performance. But the way Lemliwi's stepped up time and time again in big pressure situations for RS Berkane and now for Morocco, I think we cannot look past that. And again, if he just continues to carry this run of form in just for 2 more months, in my opinion, 2, 3 more months, he'll be the striker for Morocco at the AFCON. And that's good because this Chan really has been like a tournament where Moroccan strikers have used it to emerge. We had Ayoub El Kaabi, of course, we've had Sofiane Rahimi, and now we have Oussama Lemliwi, who's really the next in that position, in my opinion. So, yeah, incredible goal. Madagascar couldn't really create anything after that, and Morocco win 3-2 and first nation to be crowned 3-time African Nations Championship winners. Very much deserved, in my opinion. This was a great side, very well coached. Lots of great talent all over the place. Think about all the players that played well. Lemliwi, Mehri, Rabi Harimat, Enes Bash was your Swiss Army knife doing everything at all times. Boulouksout and Belamari, very, very good as well. And then the goalkeeper, Mehdi Lahrar, very much deserved. He's been called up with the Moroccan national team as the third goalkeeper. I think it's very much deserved for him as well. So, great players all around, great coaching. They played good football. I think they played the best football. And so, really unsurprising towards the end of the tournament that they were named champions. Very well deserved. Anyways, we've been going on for 21 minutes now, so I think that'll be that. I hope you guys enjoyed the African Nations Championship. I watched it a lot. Obviously, didn't create as many videos as I probably should have. But it did seem like there wasn't that much interest from the wider African footballing community. Maybe just people from East Africa and people from maybe Madagascar, Morocco, Senegal, Sudan, teams that made it far in this tournament. But there wasn't really, I think, widespread continental or international interest in this tournament, which is why I wasn't really that motivated to cover it all that well as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing East African nations host it and host it well. I really enjoyed learning about a lot of new talent, like the Sudanese wingers Mazen Fadel or Moussa Hussein, or the Senegalese midfielder Moussa Cissé. And then just seeing the experienced players step up, players like Herimet and Lemliwi, who finished, by the way, Golden Boot and Golden Ball winners of this tournament. So another Chan in the books, and now we have World Cup qualifiers back to back to back. We have CAF Champions League starting up, and then we have AFCON coming up, and not to mention Women's Champions League as well. So a lot of great action and competitions coming up, so keep it locked into the African Five Side podcast for that. I'll speak to you all very soon. Peace.